Hey, good evening, everyone. Chris Gallagher. It is February 1st. Congratulations to making it to February 1st, 2021. You've made it to the fifth Monday of 2021. So, congratulations for that. This is our Motivational Monday Thought. And I want to ask you a weird question. Have you ever washed a rental car? Whether you've rented it at the airport or whether you've rented it maybe because one of your cars was in the shop, whatever the case, have you ever washed a rental car? I don't think I ever have. I don't think I've ever washed a rental car in my entire life. Of all the times that I've traveled, I can't remember. I tried to figure some of this out, but I don't think I've ever washed a rental car. Well, did you know that pretty much everyone does not wash a rental car? If you're given a rental car, you don't wash it. And do you know the reason why? You probably do. I would imagine you do. So, as we sit here this morning and we talk about a few things, let us take a moment and give you a motivational thought, but base it upon the question that you see on the screen, and that is, have you ever washed a rental car? I hope that you have your coffee this morning because it may stir your minds to the fact of rental cars. Now, you and I haven't washed a rental car before, and I can probably tell you the reason why. The reason why that you have not washed a rental car is because you don't own it. You haven't taken ownership of this rental car. You just have it for a short period of time, and after that, it's whoever. It doesn't matter at that point, and you probably even look at the idea that there are people to wash rental cars. So why even spend your extra money to wash a rental car? Well, that's how some people treat their life. They treat their life without ownership. And to understand that means if we treat our life with ownership, then we realize that, yeah, we own this, but yet for a Christian, it's a little bit different, isn't it? For a Christian, we realize something pretty unique. And the fact is that we are precious, made in the image of a God who's revealed himself through nature and has revealed himself in so many ways that we see it. If we would just take a moment to look around, we see the beauty of God. But to know that God made us in his image, God took ownership of us. The Bible tells us, but before we were even walking this earth, while we were in our mother's womb, God knew us and he knew who we are. God took ownership of us. He's given us abilities. He's given us life. He's given us breath. He's given us our health and so many other things. He took ownership to create us in his image and to breathe into man an eternal soul or an everlasting soul. But yet he still gave us our own choices. You know, many people have never washed a rental car because they don't own it. They haven't taken care of it because they don't own it. But yet, are we taking care of ourselves? Are we taking care of ours? Do we own our life? Are we taking care of our own bodies, the way that we eat and the things that we do? Are we taking care of ourselves mentally by focusing upon the things that are going to bring us into a different scenario? Are you taking ownership of your life on a Monday? Or are you just simply choosing to exist instead of choosing to live? As Christians, we know that God has taken ownership of us, but yet God still gives us our own free will. We have the ability to take ownership of our own life, to not only make the choices, but deal with the consequences. It reminds me of a passage in Luke chapter 15 that you've probably heard many different times. And what you've heard is it's the parable of the prodigal son. I prefer to call it the parable of the running father. And the reason I bring that up to you is because of one verse. Now, you know the story, you know the parable of the prodigal son. The parable of the prodigal son is very simple. A young man gets everything that he needs because his father gives it to him, and he goes and he spends it on riotous living. He does some unsavory things. And as he does those, what becomes very unique is when he decides to come home. When he decides to come home, he makes that long walk to see his father. Makes a long walk to go home. I would imagine that's probably the most difficult walk that man's ever had to make. And as he goes home, he is practicing a phrase, and the phrase is, Father, I'm not worthy to be called one of your sons. Make me one of your hired servants. But I want you to notice one verse out of Luke chapter 15. It says, Luke chapter 15 and verse 20. This to me is the most powerful verse in all of. Long way off, his father saw him. He felt compassion upon him, and he ran and he embraced him and he kissed him. You see, for you and I, we have something very neat. We have a God who runs. Not a God who runs away from us, but a God who runs to us. A God, if we will approach him, he's going to run to us, and all because of ownership. We are his children. We are those people seeking to live with him for eternity, and God's going to draw near to us if we draw near to him. So, to the original question that popped up on the screen just a moment ago, but have you ever washed a rental car? You haven't washed a rental car because you don't own it. And you're going to have it for a little while and it's going to go away. But what I want you to remember out of everything is this. God is willing to wash away your sins, to create in you a new person, because we have, from Luke chapter 15, we have a God who runs. My question to you on this Monday is, are you running to God? Have you desired to come home? This is your opportunity. Listen, it's cold. It's probably sleeting outside as it is here. It may be raining, or maybe snowing. Those external factors are nothing compared to a God who runs. That we can pour our prayers and our supplications and our desires to him, and he will hear us, and he'll run to us. He'll embrace us, and as the prodigal son's father did, he'll kiss him and he'll throw the best robe around him, say once he was lost and now he's found. You want to start your Monday off in a pretty good way? Then I would suggest you take a moment and you run to God. You take a moment and you reflect upon all the blessings you have, and you go to him. I hope you'll do that today. But I want you to think about those things. And thanks for being here as we have shared a small cup of coffee together and talked about how we can make Mondays a really good day. If there's anything we can help you out with, please let us know. Feel free to reach out to us. But I thank you for being here. Have a great day. Be blessed.